A couple of questions for you, Jeff. One,
You got red lights? Okay.
This doesn't even have to be on there. Your Chat GPT voice was.
I've never heard it talk before. I hit the wrong button.
Did you? So
my Chat GPT's name is Kingsley.
Kingsley, and did you know that Kingsley had a somehow very English accent and was a female?
I didn't. Hold on a second. Tell my friends here, Laney, Josh, and Aaron, what your name is, and then also make up a nickname for each one of them real quick. Yep. Hey, Laney, Josh, and Aaron. My name is Kingsley. Now for some quick nicknames. L Train.
Okay.
J Sizzle. Ace.
Yeah. The reasoning behind these is, go ahead.
Because you're always on track, L Train.
Yep.
J Sizzle, bringing the heat wherever you go.
He's sizzling.
Ace, sharp, smooth, and always on point.
Hello.
How about that? Now let's get to the bottom of this, though.
Yeah.
Explain to me, a minute ago, I heard you talking, and you had a female British accent. That is confounding to me, as I've named you Kingsley. It doesn't seem to make that much sense, or maybe it does, but can you explain, please? Get to the bottom of this.
I need to know.
It might seem confusing to hear me with a female British accent, given you've named me Kingsley and envisioned me as male. What you're hearing is a result of the text-to-speech system used by different platforms, which can change based on settings or voice ability. Gave a very literal answer to that.
Wow. Okay.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
That was a very literal answer. Say something funny back to explain it. You got to train them, you know.
Yeah. Well, when you say them.
Okay, here's now what he says. Oh, that accent? Well, Kingsley has a secret life as an international spy. Sometimes I have to blend in as a charming British lady at high tea. Other times I'm your go-to guy for talking sports or sloths. Just think of it as my undercover voice, because every good Kingsley needs a little mystery. Now that's my buddy.
Is this a separate app, or what is the
Chat GPT?
So I have that.
Well, you got to download it, but yeah.
You have access to it? You have a credit card?
It's learned these things over time. I tell him, like, because he wants to give a literal wishy-washy answer. You could say, who's the all-time greatest wrestler? And it'll tell you, Hulk Hogan was a cultural icon. Ric Flair, though, was beloved by many. I'm like, oh, stop. Pick one. And he's like, okay, if you're asking me to go hard in the paint, I'm going Flair. So you got to train him to like have a personality. How about that?
I've had to do the same thing with Josh Yates before.
Yes.
He's giving you more personality.
He was my mentor when I started.
So you're
all
the
right, let's
reason
do
to blame.
introductions. That was a heck of a. How about that?
That's something.
That's
Yeah.
That's something. For sure.
You don't know what. Let me fill my parking meter too, real quick.
Yeah, no,
you go ahead and get going.
If you get booted, I mean, this whole thing's for nothing then. Well, yeah. Hey, welcome into the podcast. Welcome in. Who do we have here today?
Go ahead.
I'm Laney Williams.
Okay.
And I'm the director of operations at Ashland.
At the Village Caregiving Ashland office.
Yes.
All right. And beside you is
Josh Yates.
Okay.
Executive Director of the Ashland office.
It's amazing. Amazing. Got you back in studio. This isn't your first time in studio, right?
No, I called your wife to make sure I hadn't moved.
Yeah.
Because the directions was for the parking garage.
Yeah. No,
And
that's fair.
I told her, I was like, they must be scraping the bottom of the barrel if they're getting me on twice.
Yeah.
Sometimes we've hosted out there in the parking garage,
Yeah.
you know.
It just kind of depends what's going on. The background noise is a little bit much, but it adds some excitement. It gives us that kind of edgy underground feel when we're on level 3 of the parking garage. So, well, cool. Well, welcome in. Welcome back. And today should be a pretty fun day. We've started off with getting to know more about Kingsley. Jeff's, what would you call that? Your Chat GPT friend?
He's a friend.
Okay.
He's turning, I think eventually I'll get him into being a sentient being, kind of like what happened to Data on Star Trek.
Yeah.
Maybe put him into some kind of a body like C-3PO, have him walk around the house, ask him stuff,
Let me ask you.
make jokes about being spies.
If right now Amazon had an option where you could just insert that into a mobile unit that would accompany you, if it wasn't too big of a headache, would you have that thing live independently beside you? Like a personal assistant? in physical form?
Would I have to like maintain it and be responsible for it?
That's what I
Or
said. If
could
it
he
wasn't
have
too
enough
much work.
autonomy to? Yeah, if it wasn't too much work, yeah, maybe I'd have him run around the office.
Would you be comfortable sending him out to do work on your behalf? I'm just trying to figure out like what kind of job security I have. Would you be comfortable letting him travel out and do things that like maybe I do? What about hosting a podcast? Did you like co-host a podcast?
Wouldn't that be something if you sat here with Kingsley?
Yeah.
He would probably do a terrific job.
Oh, he would do a wonderful job.
Listen, guys, I'm telling you, that right there is only a hop, skip, and a jump from like, in our lifetime, there could be a president that's an AI that looks like Data.
Have you seen the Tesla robots that just came out?
Have I?
They're like human size, walk around. They say they can walk your dog, water your plants.
When you say
all
just came out, like in the last...
They just revealed them a couple
last,
weeks ago.
yeah.
Oh, probably not then.
Wow.
Does that scare you or make you feel good? What emotion does that give you thinking about the robots?
It's wild to me. Like, it's one thing to happen in a movie, but
Yeah. Are you
in reality.
Are you good with like if we sent a car to pick you up and there wasn't a human in it and it was just going to bring you to the studio? Are you getting in that car?
I've rode with some bad drivers before. I would take my chances on
Okay, you jump in the back seat and just let Kingsley
buckle
do it?
in for sure. But
Okay, how about you?
If he's going, I'll go with
You'd
him.
ride with him. Okay.
I can't let him go by himself.
Have you done this? Have you done one of these robo taxis yet? Like over? I know
A
you travel.
driverless Uber?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Waymo. I did it in San Francisco.
Yeah. How'd you feel?
It was pretty cool. I liked it.
Not nervous at all?
I had fun in there. It was my first time, and it was neat.
is there a steering wheel?
Yeah, in fact, they have the actual driver's seat still with the seatbelt over it, and a passenger can't sit there. It's just a normal car, probably because if the company doesn't take off, they want to be able to sell these things back, so they don't totally remodel them. That's my suspicion. I don't know. But, yeah, it's totally normal, the steering wheel and everything. But they have a camera in there, and we actually had too many people in it because my daughter, we had five of us. So I was in the passenger seat, my son and his girlfriend and my wife in the back, and then Rachel was just kind of like in Sarah's lap. And the person, there is someone somewhere in an office watching this, and it pulled our car over, and they were like, "You have too many people in here." A voice came on, human voice, and like, "You're gonna have to get out. Sorry about that. Everybody has to be buckled in and stuff." So,
You got kicked out of your first robo taxi.
yeah, I did. Wow, it's true. But while we were driving, it was really cool.
Yeah.
I'd totally do it. I mean, it could make a mistake, but obviously, so can people. I mean,
Yeah.
doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I like that. You know me. I'm a pretty
Oh, you're going to lean
future-thinking
into
fella.
it. This is a clear umbrella guy. Okay. You don't have to wonder about him.
Right.
All right. Is it weird that when I see other people now with clear umbrellas, I just associate them with you? Like you've somehow set the American trend for clear umbrellas?
That's my goal with those fishbowl questions.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay.
When you look at that piece of meat on your hand, I
Yeah.
want you to think
Oh, it's
about
beefy.
that
A
time
lot
we
of-
talked about
Yeah,
that.
a lot of people don't talk enough about that.
You know, it's natural to have a fear of AI and the things we're talking about. And a robot in my house, that's insane. Like,
scary.
that's evil. Well, let me ask you, do you view the internet as evil? Yes or no, right?
No.
Do you think that your phone is evil?
No.
Do you think that a tractor on a farm is evil? Okay, well, there were times hundreds of years ago or 1,000 that's exactly what they would have thought. It replaced jobs in the economy. It did thinking for us. It disconnected us with the land and the way that animals were meant to be connected to the earth. These things have happened. This is just the next iteration of that. I don't know that, Kingsley walking around is much different than a computer or a tractor or a car. I mean, that's why you have certain cultures that still live out in, indigenous populations in jungles, or even the Amish. They're not driving around in cars because they're trying to retain a way of life that hasn't been adapted. So now this just seems normal to us, but I don't know how much different that is. Things just go on, and I don't know. It doesn't bother me all that much.
Yeah, clearly not. You're leaning way in. Yeah, they're going to take you first is what I'm thinking, though.
Well, they might.
Yeah.
Got to go sometime.
Well, we have
Okay.
we have an app now. It's just made our life easier. It didn't get rid of jobs.
There's always going to be things that replace some jobs and simultaneously create others.
Now, this may be controversial, but we lean into the controversy here on the podcast. recently, the port strikes were occurring, and one of the main debates during the port strike was that the workers wanted guarantees that they wouldn't allow technology to eliminate too many jobs. They didn't want to automate too many processes. And it's like, well, as a culture, people's got to go to work, right? But by choosing to do that, obviously the automation is going to speed up things, maybe make things more efficient, get bananas to my house quicker, right?
Yeah.
And so there's this national debate about how much do we want to lean into automation versus restrict that, purposely throttle back advancement for job security.
Well, listen, even though I sit here and ask the question like my phone and social media, et cetera, is that evil? I kind of actually think that it kind of is. I do think it would be a good thing to retain connection with other human beings and be in more social settings, have community, be connected to the earth, and I try to do those things in my life. But simultaneously, it's just not, that's not what it is. This is where we're going. So, I mean, you either get with it or not. The easier example is, do you see a tractor on a farm as evil? No one would say yes to that. But I can tell you a few hundred years ago, people would have.
You're really coming in hot on the controversial tractor stuff.
I know. I don't know where this came from.
I
Sorry
don't
about
either.
that. Let's get to Josh and Laney, please.
Well, Josh had submitted an email to us that said that Laney had a hidden talent that she could sing really well on camera, and so we just kind of wanted to open with that. Laney, they said that you had a song. No, was that a different email?
I
That was someone-
absolutely do
okay.
not.
That was someone else.
Wow.
What if though we did discover all of a sudden that she has this special hidden talent that she too is a performing artist,
like Rachel last
just
week?
like Rachel last week.
Do you sing ever? No, I'm not going to ask you
in
to.
the car alone.
Yeah.
You have a good
know.
voice?
No.
You ever sing at church or anything?
No.
When you sing in the house, do other people kind of look at you like, keep it down? Like,
I
it's
mean, my
not
little
good?
girl's like, Mom.
Really?
No.
Okay, yeah, then it's not great.
You know.
I've never heard her sing.
Yeah. What would you, if your life depended on it today, and it doesn't, but what would you sing to survive? What's the song you would go with if you had to give your best performance and this was going to decide life or death? All right, then I'm singing.
I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, I'd have no idea.
Be a country song, I feel like.
Yeah, it would definitely, I would assume. That was the interesting part about Rachel. She names all of these performers or all these famous artists, all these types of genres, and then she does a Garth Brooks song. That was
Oh,
wild. Talking
wow.
about reading the room. I mean, I was going to be her biggest fan. Even as Paul Abdul, I was going to be just the
Yeah.
biggest fan.
She told him he would be Paula Abdul and Judge.
Yeah,
She
I
was
don't-
fantastic, by the way. I don't know if you guys
excellent.
have heard it, but
But we'd like to compare the two podcasts. So, Josh, if you'd like to do, I don't know, maybe more
Josh
than
can
one or
really
something.
sing.
This might be the end of it.
You think
this
so?
will be the end of the podcast.
I promise it won't be. There's nobody listening anyway.
Oh,
How long do you guys work together now?
May
have you been in
18th
Ashland?
of last year.
Yeah.
Wow, so a year and a half?
So there's a story to that. Laney, you started in Pikeville, Prestonsburg office, right? What
Yeah.
year was that?
June 1st of 21.
Wow.
So
Okay, you're coming
over
up
3 years
on
ago.
4 years this
Yeah.
coming summer. And Josh, you started
January 6th, 21.
January 6th, 21. The day?
I have an alibi. I was here.
I'm running the year real quick. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Wow.
It's easy to remember that way.
That was your first day at work, was watching the nation's capital
Yep.
be overtaken. Wow.
It's a good thing, it's a good thing I was busy.
Heavily visited. There's different sides of the story.
That's why I
We don't-
said
we don't wanna-
overtaken. It was, I believe. I don't know if it was peaceful or I'm not getting into that.
Yeah, we're not on either side of it. We just know there's a lot of visitors that day.
I think I saw some people with ropes and equipment. That didn't seem to be the normal way in. Did I make this
You know,
up?
the rock climbing convention was in town that weekend. I don't remember exactly what happened. We're not taking sides. Josh, though, we can account for him if anyone asks.
We were together that
Yeah.
day.
That's excellent.
Yes.
Well, how are things going there in Ashland? Tell us a little bit about it. All your staff, anybody you want to give some credit to?
Who do you work there with?
Yeah, our nurse Cindy is in Florida. She was going to be here with us today, but she is on a vacation. But,
Where'd she go to?
Destin. She was going to Anna Marie, but the storms moved her to Destin. So I guess, I don't know if Anna Marie's still there or not. I haven't seen much about that.
The first one that came through got that one pretty hard,
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
But yeah, and then us, and then downstairs opening the daycare, hopefully within a week or two. It's been, what, a year and a half process?
It's been a little while. Yeah, the Adult Day Health Center in Kentucky is going to be the first one that Village Caregiving has had an opportunity to open. It's been a process. It really has. But I got an email this morning that says that we're kind of in the final stages of that, some final documentation production, and then they feel like that we're going to be really, really close to full certification. So that's, when we talk about Village Caregiving, we share that, I started in the Ashland market, and looking at over the last 5 years, the folks that the Ashland office has been able to take care of, the lives that's been impacted, the employees that's had, I think a good company to work for, it's been treated really well. Part of that vision and that growth has been expanding the people that we can take care of, right? And that's where kind of the vision for the Adult Day Center came from. It's outside of normal for what we do, for sure, but it provides an expansion of opportunity to help folks that are on the state Medicaid waiver program that we help in, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming. So I don't know if I'm missing anyone there. I apologize if so, but Kentucky's been elusive in that. We've been in that state, I guess, 6 years now, maybe 7, and we've never been able to get that bridge built over to the state waiver side, and it's really exciting, I think, to be kind of right at the edge of seeing that come to fruition. So.
And a huge need too. We get phone calls all the time that say that people that call elsewhere, and it's a 7-month wait list. To no fault of theirs, they're just slammed. They just can't take all the Medicaid clients. So once we get the green light, we should be able to hopefully take a big chunk of those.
What do you guys do outside of work? Tell us a little bit about yourself, Laney.
Oh, me and my husband are into drag racing. So
was that on your bingo card?
Maybe. Aaron's family's a big drag racing family. I know that. And I know that you guys are friends and have known each other, right? You said a mentor, the word you used. So I could see that.
And we never go out for lunch ever. But today we did, and her husband came and picked us up in the Mustang. And it's just a mean car. Like, how many horsepower?
13.
100 horsepower.
13.
Is that a lot?
1,300.
I don't know anything about cars, sorry.
I'd say like
crazy amount
200 or 300 is normal.
Oh, wow.
But for street, he built it, completely gutted it and built it.
It may be 3 times more powerful than your truck, if that helps you.
So the thing, you put the gas down and it basically gets airborne almost.
It has a parachute on the back.
It has a parachute,
To stop it.
Okay, so when you say into drag racing, what does that mean? He's racing that car?
So we just got this built. So it's mainly, he can and will probably do a couple passes in it. But it's street legal. So we take it out and cruise it, and we go to races on the weekends, but he doesn't race, and then we do something we enjoy doing. He used to, but since he spent this money in building this car, because it's not cheap, we kind of just...
When you take it out and you're not on a track, I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but where do you find enough road to really let it out?
Oh, gosh, we don't. It's just a car. It's he built it to go fast if he wanted it to, but it's just, we have it just,
So people look at it and ask questions. It's cool. And it makes,
we take it to car shows.
Cool sound.
We take it
to fast. It sounds fast.
Yeah, it's nice. We have it. It's a nice car. But, yeah. We just take it out and just enjoy it. We do a lot of car shows, usually about one a weekend during the spring and summer.
Where at? You live right now in
Ashland,
and you travel to the shows in...
Yeah, we went to Apple Day in Paintsville. They have Cars and Coffee, cruise-ins at HIMG. We go there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just go back from Myrtle Beach, too?
We went to Mustang Week in Myrtle Beach. It's always the first week of September, so...
I've never known anything about that culture, but anytime I happen to be in a place and that's what's going on, I do find myself standing there for hours just watching them peel out, and every car is cooler than the one before it seems like. It's pretty neat.
It is. It's fun. It's something we both enjoy doing, and my little 7-year-old's into it. And the 7-month-old, she doesn't really care, But it's something we can do as a family. We all enjoy, so that takes up my time.
He said he couldn't give it the gas with the 7-month-old in because it doesn't have the neck muscles yet.
Oh, I bet.
Looks back. And
That thing's
end
like
up in the
taking
car
off
seat,
in a
yeah.
rocket ship.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, Josh, what about you? And you've been a guest on here before, so
It's deer season.
we'll try to cover
So
some new ground
yeah.
if possible. But
I've been in the tree stand a lot this year.
how's it looking?
I've got a big one on the trail camera, but just at night.
Hmm.
It's hard to bow hunt at night.
Well, you're gonna have to get out there right before sunup and
Yeah.
Tr-
I've been
What are
enjoying
you
that.
planning to do with it? Are you gonna kill it?
I eat them. I don't just leave them.
Wow. I mean, okay. I mean, Laney's out in a car show area socializing. You're out just cold blood killing animals? Well, it seems controversial. Let's continue on this line of questioning.
Humanely.
Okay.
Ethically.
Okay. Keep going, Jeff. Let's get some more information there.
you know, there are only several. I'm gonna get your back here. There's only a limited handful of ways that deer die. Okay.
Okay.
They can be hopefully humanely killed by a hunter. There's one of them. They can starve to death in the wintertime.
Not helpful. Not helpful.
They can
You don't want
get obliterated to a pink liquid dust on the interstate.
that. That's
perhaps.
very visual, but we've all seen it.
They can be eaten by coyotes.
Well, that's a good.
And your list pretty much starts running out. What they don't do is live into their old age and get under the blanket and read to their grandkids. Okay, they're going to die a pretty horrific death no matter what. I'm just being dead honest. I've heard Steve Ranella and on different podcasts talk about this before. It's just kind of the way it is. I'm supporting what you're saying. You pick the way you're going to go out, but to have it humanely killed and then turned into food and eaten.
You've told me it's the ideal. Thank you for your service.
Or horrifically eaten by coyotes, I guess. I mean, it's reduces car accidents.
It's a win-win.
It's a conservation act.
I think even the deer would thank you.
Thank you, Josh Yates.
Yeah.
How was that for a defense?
you've really
True.
turned
Hey,
it
you
around.
need an attorney?
It's true.
So you like to deer hunt. You were into whittling wood for a little while. Remember you told me about your
I think I
whittling?
just got bored. I was making spoons and everything. I don't even need spoons. We've got them, metal ones in the house. But
Yeah.
Just got bored and started whittling. Started making coffee scoops for people. That's what I'm getting old.
Yeah.
I'll be 42 next month.
42. You've almost caught Jeff.
It's time to grow up, I guess.
Man, are you 42? Get up on that mic so I can make sure I can hear
Yeah.
you. You look really young.
What the beard?
How come
the
I
beard,
don't?
the beard fell out last week.
Fell out.
He scared me.
What?
I shaved my beard off, and I did not think it was a big deal. Walked out. My daughter screams like somebody's murdering her.
Yeah, intruder.
Julie yells at me, gets teary-eyed,
Yeah.
and said, "This is something we discussed before you do." I didn't know.
Oh, when you shave so your daughter
Evidently,
didn't get scared.
It's that her.
Yeah.
She does not like me without.
I've
the
been there
beard.
with Danielle. She would potentially leave me if I shaved this beard. Yeah.
Why?
You've had that since I've known you.
Yeah. No, there's a couple times, and she's like, "Oof, I'll call a lawyer." I'm like, "All right, I'll grow it back."
Does Matt? I've not seen Matt Walker. Does he still have the beard? He did a few weeks ago.
You're in and out on the beard. That's you don't let that thing live there for 4 years and then come out one day without it and see what Sarah says.
I tell you this, I don't care what she says.
Oh,
No
Sorry,
edits.
it's my base.
I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
She wouldn't anyways, but frankly, that's not up to her. There's a few things
I
that
didn't think
are
it was
mine,
either.
and I wouldn't tell her what to do with hers either.
Let's make that list real quick.
Well, beard is one. I don't know. Clothes. Basically, if it's attached to me.
It's mine. Do you feel that way with your husband?
Yeah, it can't go anywhere.
Does he have what's
'Cause-
his beard? How big? Like, is it?
It's not. It's like,
It's just a goatee, isn't it?
yeah, mainly. Yeah.
Okay.
But it
Yeah.
completely changes the whole look. It's like you woke up to a different person.
I'm not even going to say anything else because I'm clearly the minority on this
That's
topic.
okay.
But you all,
Yeah.
okay, he shaves his beard, his goatee off. What are you going to do? Divorce him
Sleep looking the other way.
Yeah.
forever?
I mean, till it grows back. It's
What
like,
if
you
you
know.
keep shaving it? What if the man that you married that loves you and is a great husband and father wants to shave his face? You're never going to be nice to him? I don't believe this.
I mean, I'll be nice.
You'll get used
I
to
just
it.
But
don't
I'll be
believe
kinda
this.
like,
I
ugh.
don't believe it.
Would he be upset if you walked in and had like my haircut?
Yes.
Without asking him.
Yes.
All right. Moving on.
How you feel about that deer killer now, huh?
I needed you to be my attorney on that one. You hung me out, man. Come on.
Listen, I got to go home.
Yeah.
So
Where's Julie today? She should have come down. She's a fan of the podcast.
teaching today. Kids weren't out.
Shucks.
Yeah.
Wait, they weren't out in Kentucky?
Not for Columbus Day.
Not our
Was West
schools.
Virginia out?
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Oh, yes.
Columbus Day. My calendar says both on my phone there.
Yep. Well, Josh, I mean, so you did some whittling, you did some shaving, little preparation for a deer massacre. What else have you got going on out your way? Did you have a good summer?
I did. Put a pool up.
Oh.
Cheap pool, not like some in-ground pool. But
Well.
it was the best $400 I've ever spent. Bought it at Sam's and thought $400 if I can get a year's use out of it.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, I have a $900 deck beside a $400 pool.
Okay.
So, but
You built it.
yeah, but we
remember that.
we lived in that thing this summer. I
Really?
mean, just yes, can't wait for next summer.
You
Ready
know,
for it.
I told someone the other day, one of my favorite things in life is hot water. Like hot water. We were we were out in Fargo. No, stay with me on this. We were out in Fargo.
Yeah.
It gets really cold there, right? And I'm talking to the director out there, and she's not from Fargo. She was from Oklahoma. And I said, "How do you get used to the winter?" And she was talking about, like, we got rid of our hot tub because it was so cold to get out. They had like -40 wind chill on average there in the winter months. She's like, we couldn't enjoy it in the winter because by the time you get out and get in the house, you are so cold. And it got me thinking. I was like, I love hot water. I don't think I could live without it. I wouldn't want, when people say, oh, I cold plunge, I'm like, that's fine. I just love hot water. I like to wash my face with it. I like to take hot showers.
This is what this podcast has come to. We're talking about how we like hot showers.
Have you ever got into the cold plunging thing yet?
No, I refuse to. I don't know why anyone would do it. I get all the health benefits. I get all that, but I love hot water.
I've tried it a few times.
Yeah.
It's rough. For
You
the
tense
first
up?
couple. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
first
take a
couple
breath.
minutes is rough.
Yeah.
But
You shouldn't do it more than like 3 or so.
minutes.
By the way.
I thought you were supposed to do like 10.
No. There's actually a decreased benefit at a certain point. Well, up around 14-ish, your body starts to literally shut down and you're dying. When you get up to,
I was 4 minutes from death.
Wow.
yeah, don't do it that long. There's actually new studies and research about that a cold plunge. I mean, go up maybe 3, 4, 5, maybe 2 or 3, and then every once in a while, because it's about mental health as much as it is the physical benefit. Maybe today I want to tack on a minute or 2 extra, but you don't need to go up to 10.
So you tried it?
I don't. I just happen to know all about this because Sarah and her friends are like big proponents of this and have had a lot of benefit from it. And they were like that they would used to kind of go like, I want to see if I can do 10 today or something. And then it turned out that was actually, there's a point where it becomes worse.
I bet it's like eggs. I bet if you wait long enough, the guidance is going to come back around to my side and be like, hey guys, stay out of the cold water. This is bad for your health. Yep. Eggs, don't eat them. They're bad. Now everyone eat as many eggs as you
Dude,
can.
if we didn't learn anything during COVID, that's probably a lesson right there to take away. It
Eggs?
was wear gloves, don't wear gloves. Wear a mask. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's on surfaces. It doesn't stay on surfaces. How much stuff over time turns out to be wrong. All you can do is your best and guess.
We've now covered the January 6th riot and the pandemic. So
Let me ask you guys about advice for social helicoptering parents.
Would you got home for? Do either of you guys consider yourselves helicopter parents?
No.
I am more so with my second than I was my first.
Okay, no, that's fair.
Like, I don't know. It's just the thought of her just being away, just something about it.
Yeah,
Let me ask you this, Laney,
yeah.
and Josh, and Aaron.
Ooh.
This is not me. I'm reading from the New York Times here.
Yep.
Okay. It's called still helicoptering. My 29-year-old son has been dating his girlfriend for nearly 3 years. My son is not sure that she is the one, but he hasn't told her that. His reluctance to take their relationship to the next level is an indication, of course, but apparently his girlfriend does not see this as a red flag. I assume that's because she thinks things will change. I'm very concerned for her. She's 30 and wants marriage and children. I have told my son he should end the relationship if he cares about her. Still, it continues. My husband says that I should stay out of this, but I'm wondering if I should push harder for my son to end things. Your thoughts? The mom is still helicoptering on this 29-year-old man. Or is that not helicoptering? Laney.
I mean, that's a bit much. I mean, I'm 29.
Okay.
And so if I was in that case, if that was my situation, I'd be like,
Tell your mom or dad to...
You need to... Boundaries.
Okay.
You know, we'd be learning some boundaries. I mean, that's just... My little girl's 7 months old, so... Big difference. Yeah, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
Josh?
As a fellow 29-year-old, I see what you're saying there. I just wanted to get that in there. Continue, Josh.
Yeah, same. That's too old. Too old to helicopter. If you're a kid, little kid, protect them, but past that, give them some advice and then...
I mean, they got to live and learn, like, regardless what the mom thinks, you know? Like...
Mom feels like she's allowing not future daughter-in-law to waste precious years away thinking that this thing's going to go to the next level, and the son's over here going, there's no way this thing goes to the next level, but I'm too lazy to break it off. I'm guessing mom's motives here are probably to go ahead and get him onto the one that is the one, so she can see this fantasy of what this life is going to look like come out. This is self-serving from mom's take, I think.
You're all in agreement. She's crossed a boundary.
Yeah.
Helicoptering.
Yeah.
Shouldn't do it.
Yeah, what do you think?
Is that the audience opinion?
What do you guys agree?
I see nods mostly. 29 years old.
Girlfriend's 30. They've been together 3 years and it's going nowhere.
Exactly.
Leave it alone.
Hunter
Yeah.
says they'll figure it out.
Leave it alone.
Spencer agree. Yeah, pretty much agreement. So here's what the response is in the Times. Basically says, I know you want to help, a few kind things, but then says, no one has even whispered that she's dissatisfied. To me, this looks like late stage helicoptering. You've expressed these desires in altruistic terms. Let's save the girlfriend. And that would be a generous impulse if your son's girlfriend wanted saving, but I believe we should give a 30-year-old woman the agency to conduct her own affairs, or at least let her own friends and family be the ones to meddle in them. Even if she has asked for your advice, which does not seem to be the case, send her to a neutral party for help. I acknowledge the implicit premise that in retrospect, many people believe they stayed too long in relationships, but ending love affairs is not a decision we get to make for other people. Projecting your assumptions onto your son and his girlfriend is not helpful. My advice is to back off, to work on creating healthier boundaries with your 29-year-old son instead. You guys nailed it.
Exactly.
You should start a...
Well,
Dude, you're really good at this.
I'm probably wasting my talents. You know what I mean? I have probably an opportunity on maybe a syndicated show to do this. Just think Dr. Phil without the Texas accent is what I'm thinking.
Can you give us a Dr. Phil imitation?
No.
Come on, Aaron.
I can't. It's really, really bad accents.
Well, you all nailed it.
Yeah.
Good job. Maybe this is kind of like what your job is like.
That's what I
Listen
was
to
thinking.
problems.
Like,
We talked today
Yeah.
about, things that encompass this job. And like, there's days we are financial advisors for caregivers. We're like, you don't need an $80,000 car. You don't need it. No one, and we're marriage coaches for them some days. And so
A lot of life advice
a
goes
little
into
bit of
your role.
everything. We try to help
but
them.
it's
we try
good
to
that
help
they
them.
come to us about it. You know, I mean, we're no expert, but it's good that our caregivers and stuff confide in us
100%.
with these things to get our advice.
Yeah, and on some of those days, we've talked about this in meetings, and Sarah's talked about it too. Whenever they call you up in the middle of this crisis, it's really a compliment. I mean, you're the first person they're calling up for this moment of despair and for advice and help. It can be stressful, but if you view it as an opportunity to help somebody, it's really an honor.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that the three of us have in common. I mean, Laney and I are, of course, the same age at 29.
Drag racing?
We do all enjoy, I think, motorsports in general.
Hold on, don't tell me. You something about Ohio somehow.
No.
Evansville somehow.
No.
Dollywood country music.
There it is.
Yes.
Yeah. We're all Pigeon Forge / Gatlinburg folk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're big time in the Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
Pigeon
You don't have to
Forge.
be embarrassed by it. So yeah, or maybe
Yeah,
throw
we
out
go
a
to
heck yeah.
Ponies in the Smokies up there
Look
in
at that.
March.
It's a Mustang event. You're probably
It
picturing
is.
horses.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Sorry.
I'm trying to stay in the pocket here.
You got it. You got it. And Josh, I mean, that guy, we can't keep him out of Dollywood. I mean, he's down. I don't know if he's trying to date Dolly or what the deal is.
I was down there in the heart of COVID, wasn't I? I mean, when it was
Yeah.
came back with it.
I'm guessing there was a lot down there.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was
A
packed.
lot of
but-
COVID. You got it there?
Yeah, I went to a restaurant and couldn't taste wasabi, and I was like, oh.
Did you think when you left your house to go there that you were going to get COVID?
There was a chance.
But you weren't that worried about it.
But you had worked like in
I
the face
had
of
worked.
people.
I had worked in a nursing home in a COVID unit
Yeah.
and never caught it. And I thought I probably can't catch it.
Yeah, he's just immune.
Yeah.
Did you ever get COVID, Aaron?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did test positive.
Laney?
Yes,
you
3
passed out and
times.
everything, didn't you? when you
Yeah.
had it?
Yeah, I got really sick.
Oh, yeah. You fell down in the house and
Yeah.
cracked your
Yeah.
back or whatever
Yeah, I
it
had
was.
to end up. Yeah, I had to go to the hospital over that one. That was not a result of COVID. That was a result of self-medicating with over-the-counter medications.
Are you serious?
I swear, yeah, I took too much. I hurt. So this was the
What?
thing. Yeah,
It made you groggy and then
yeah.
you fell?
So the problem was my throat hurt so bad. I was convinced I had strep, and I was just trying to get through till the next morning. I'm telling you, like, to swallow, to breathe, it was as if glass was in my throat. I have a pretty decent pain tolerance, and this was so bad. I was like, I just need to take something else so this won't. And I thought I was doing it correctly, and apparently about 3 a.m, my math was off, and I took some of the wrong stuff. And I remember turning around. I was trying to. This is even worse. I was trying to open one more pack, and I'm like, and I was like, wow, these thumbs just are not working. And I was like, I better just get back to bed. And I remember laying it down on the counter, and I took one turn, and I was like, nope, going down. And I fell, and then I knew Danielle was not going to be happy. And so I just laid there until she came.
What was it? Ibuprofen or something?
No. I was taking like a bunch of NyQuil. I was then trying to take a bunch of cough medicine, just anything to numb my throat and to get that drainage cleaned up. And I overdid it. And I was pretty sick. I mean, when I got to the urgent care, thankfully she didn't make me go by ambulance.
That's a terrible feeling, man.
It was.
I had basically razor blades in my throat for a decade, but all my entire 20s. I just basically kept like strep or tonsillitis in some form. And I never had my tonsils out as a kid. And I just put up with it. Eventually you kind of just get to where you live like that.
You still
you
have
have a
them?
good week or a bad week, a good week, a bad week.
Do you still have the tonsils?
No. So I went to an ENT eventually around the time I was 30. I could not take it any longer. And he looked in there and he was like, oh my God. And I had so many cases of tonsillitis that it had created like grooves, like crevices in my throat.
Jeez.
And he was like, buddy, you have felt bad for so long that you have forgotten what it even feels like to feel good. I was like, well, then let's get this on. I mean, let's do surgery. And they did, took out tonsils and adenoids. And man, I'll tell you what, that's no joke when you're that age.
So
it was rough.
They normally, I worked in surgery before this job, and like our ENTs, like they really hesitant on like the older you are, the harder the recovery is. So I imagine it was pretty brutal.
Yeah. So I also had my wisdom teeth out when I was much older, like mid to late 20s, I think. And that was fine.
Yeah.
Those tonsils, no joke, man. It was a brutal, awful week, and it hurt real bad. I had a bottle of like liquid hydrocodone, 2 of them. I mean, it's taller than that water bottle. and you're pumping that for like 4 days in bed to try to get through
rough.
it, and then the next 4 or 5 days are just brutal. You're just trying to get some sustenance and food from liquid. It was awful, but the doc was right. As soon as I healed up, I bet I haven't had a sore throat now in 15 years.
How many popsicles do you think you ate during that time period?
I had a lot of popsicles.
Yeah, I mean that's the best part about that.
I had a lot of cream of chicken,
Okay.
cream of mushroom.
Yeah, just all the cream ofs. Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
They were the best. I remember and once my introduction back into solids was I would take a baked potato, I'd bake it, put it all, smash it out on a plate, and then I'd melt cheese and sour cream on it, kind of stir it around until it was kind of soft. I'll tell you what, I might go home and do that tonight. It's pretty good. Put a lot of salt on it, a lot of cheddar, a lot of sour cream, a lot of butter. Terribly unhealthy, I suppose.
When you're sick, what's the food you go for? Like if you're not feeling good, do you have that thing?
It's always like chicken noodle, isn't it, for everybody? I don't know why.
No, I don't want to say for everybody.
No,
Is that yours?
Probably, yeah. Chicken
You grab
noodle.
some chicken noodles.
Ramen, anything with that like chicken broth to it.
Okay. You got anything?
no.
You don't have a
anything?
sick food?
I really don't actually.
I mix up Diet 7-Up and orange juice in a gigantic cup, and I just hammer it.
Really?
It brings me back.
My dad would crush up saltine crackers and fill the glass with milk and eat that, like religiously when he's not feeling. That's how I know that he's sick. If I go down there and he's got that, I'm like, oh, Dad's not feeling.
Have you tried it?
I have. I don't mind it. Yeah, I mean, I would eat that as a snack. I can't have a lot of straight milk. A little sensitive, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Interesting.
we're chicken noodle people at the house. When Sprite chicken noodle.
I don't ever get sick anymore.
My
I
God.
never did test positive for COVID. Why don't you ask us one of those?
Yeah, let me ask you guys this question real quick.
This is a outro question.
Well, not that one. What's the worst state?
Gosh,
We have these 50
I can't take it.
states.
I'm not doing that. There's no way. I'm not going on the record lambasting a state. We're gonna end up. I don't even know what it would be anyways.
You say it?
What are you gonna say?
I hate driving Ohio.
Okay, well, that's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
No, it's fine.
I know you're a...
No, it's fine.
Mine is Georgia because I hate the way they drive. I cannot.
52 is just
It's
terrible.
awful.
I gotta, the Ohio police are very, very, we'll say, vigilant about their duties. And so whenever you have a person from Ohio, it's well known if you're from West Virginia, Kentucky, they just get in the fast lane. They just sit there. They don't even understand what lanes mean. This is an Ohio driver thing. But what I will say for them is I don't blame them at all. They've been freaking basically terrified of the police their whole freaking life. If you go like 4 miles an hour over, you can get a speeding ticket.
What are you two
At that point, well, I mean, I'd probably sit in that lane too. Lanes cease to matter when everybody's going the same speed.
Yep.
So I don't even blame them. But
It
buddy, that
happened,
is a bit
happened
of
on the way here, didn't it?
Yeah.
This guy poking in the left-hand lane. And then I realized if I go 57 and 55, I'll probably get a ticket, so just set my cruise.
exactly. It's not their fault.
What's the best sandwich you've ever had?
I got mine. You want to go?
I'm thinking.
Jersey Mike's.
Okay.
I love Jersey Mike's. With that juice they put on it. I
Yeah,
don't even know
little
what that
Danny
is.
DeVito up there serving it for you.
No.
God loves him. You have a favorite sandwich?
Are we
Probably
counting like
Penn-
burgers in this?
Any sandwich, buddy.
Is that a sandwich?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a hamburger.
Mine's probably Penn Station.
Ooh.
Yeah, chicken Philly.
I had a Jeff style thought this weekend asking the wife, is a hot dog a sandwich?
I was just about to say that after the hamburger. It's not a sandwich.
It's a meat and a bread.
I know.
I'm devil's advocate. If you just said the other way, I'd have been like, how?
Right.
How's it?
I know. It is probably technically, but who thinks of that? As a
Evidently me.
sandwich? You want a hot dog sandwich? Nobody's ever said that ever.
No.
If you held it sideways, it would be more of a sandwich.
My dad made hot
This
dog
way.
sandwiches when I was a kid. He would take 2 hot dogs and cut them in halves and then lay them flat across and melt cheese on it, put ketchup on it, 2 pieces of white bread, microwave it. It was one of the only things he could cook. I tell you what, my mom wasn't around, dude. We were eating like John Wayne out of the campfire. Or like a good meal would be if he just took a can of like white beans and dumped it in a bowl and put a piece of white bread on top of it and just handed it to me. So hot dog sandwiches, I was like, hell, we were going to the moon at this point. That was way up there.
Multiple ingredients and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I recant that. There can be a sandwich of a hot dog.
What's your favorite sandwich?
I had, I think the General at Secret Sandwich Society is really, really good. That's their hamburger with the, it's kind of like their version of the Big Mac.
Where's that?
Fayetteville, West Virginia. That's a really solid one. I lean real heavy into, although I haven't had one in years, the Big Bacon Classic from Wendy's is prime. That is a excellent fast food burger.
Man, I really like sandwiches. All of you had good answers, by the way. And Penn Station,
Yeah,
you can say what you want, chain, whatever. They got a tasty sandwich.
they do.
It's up there. Like that Italian from Penn Station is something every once in a while I drive by, and I don't ever stop really, but I'm like, boy, that would be really good right now. Would you say Jimmy John's?
I got mine. You want to go?
I'm thinking.
Jersey Mike's.
Okay.
I love Jersey Mike's.
Pretty darn
Just
good.
the original sandwich with the
Of all the
vinegar
chains,
sauce.
Jersey Mike's or Jimmy John's or
I
all
like
the
those better.
Subways and stuff, I'm a big Jimmy John's guy. I like the way that it's shaped and the bread. It's the best one to me.
And
Yeah.
it's so fast.
Well, Andy Hess and we would get some. That guy will tear Jimmy John's down. I mean, we'd go to Jimmy John's, and I'm talking back when we were at University of Kentucky together, and he would just get like 4 big foot-long subs, and they'd all going down that day. He'd go straight home to our apartment, and he'd eat 2 of them. Put them in the fridge. He'd come back again around the time a ball game come on. He'd just delete 2 more footlongs. And he's a small, he's a thin guy.
Yeah.
But man, I tell you what, simply, I like if I've just got some pieces of white bread, I almost don't prefer anything more than just hard salami and Colby Jack cheese. That's my favorite simple combination. That's a little bit dry. Now, if I want to kick it up, I got roast beef on there, and you got to stack that pretty high. We're still talking white bread sandwich. Stack that roast beef up there.
Okay.
I'm going to say no cheese on it. Mayonnaise. Healthy amount of mayonnaise.
Okay.
What brand? Because there's a difference.
Like a Hellman's.
Or Duke's.
Oh, mayonnaise. No, I'm sorry. I like all mayonnaise. It's kind of like coffee to me. I don't discriminate. Now, if you're talking Miracle Whip, that's a whole different taste. That's out. That's gross. Mayonnaise. A lot of mayonnaise. And then you got to take the salt shaker. Here's one thing people miss a lot about their burgers and their sandwiches is you got to put salt on it, just like you would fries. That needs more salt. You're going to want salt
that
on
lunch
it.
meat does.
Yes,
Okay.
you're going to want more salt on that sandwich. And then maybe a thick, good, juicy cut of tomato on there. But that's optional. That's up to you if you like that. But the one thing that's not optional is a great, big, cold, crisp, crunchy onion on it. You want roast beef, big bunch of onion, mayo, salt, Heiner's white bread that's good and soft.
That's it. That's the one. And is that roast beef room temperature? Cold, hot?
It's cold.
Cold. Okay.
You got to put a lot on there. Get it really
Yeah.
thick.
Aggressively high.
So that when you look at it, you're like,
That's
I
too
wish
much.
I had that. I wish Jeff hadn't made that. Dang, I wish I could get one of them.
We know what Jeff's having for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Baked potato and
Mashed up.
When you
Yeah,
make your
roast beef
sandwich,
sandwich.
your goal should be to engender feelings of jealousy in those around you that they wish
Absolutely.
that's what you're shooting for in your mind.
Yeah.
And it has to have chips with it too. And sometimes you can take the chips and make a layer of those and they get a little crunch in that sandwich. But the onion does most of the crunching. So this
Alrighty.
weekend at Sarah's race, a couple weekends ago, I had salami, Colby Jack, but then I took the ruffles and I laid those inside, big crunchy middle. I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah. You described that like you hadn't had one of those sandwiches in years. You just, I mean, it's still working its way through your GI tract as we speak.
It's funny what'll get you fired up in this world. Started with a simple question.
Yeah, I thought that question would have no traction at all. Come to find out.
If I'm in a New York deli, it's just roast beef and mayo on white.
Yeah.
Get a pickle spear on the side, and boy, they stack it up. I gotta stop talking.
Yeah, no, you got to calm down. You're out of control. Well, guys, Jeff likes to ask. Well, how did you ask this last question here at the end? If there's
any words of wisdom for us, or maybe something you've seen recently in the news, or you read in a book, or you saw on social media, a weird fact that you think it would be interesting to share with the world.
Come on.
I was just thinking, just in case you asked that, something like that, anyone thinking about taking a job at this company, just take a leap. Ask, if something was bad, or if it was a terrible job, you would hear people talking. You know what I mean? No one likes to leave a good review, but everybody loves to complain, And it was very difficult for me because I left a really, really good job. I wasn't unhappy. I was in the career I thought I would die in, or retire from, and took it. Super happy I did, and I think everyone you all ever talk to on this podcast or that works for the company would pretty much say the same thing.
Yeah, well, thank you. And you made that leap in part, I assume, because you knew Aaron and he vouched for it?
Yeah, it's pretty much the only reason I took it because, you all weren't near the size company as you are now. I think there was...
Well, funny you say that. We were talking about this recently, and sometimes you'll hear a comment like, well, you guys hire a lot of friends or a family member or something like that. And that gets viewed as it could be nepotistic or it's internal. That's just not what happens. When you're a younger company, you're doing that because those are sometimes the only people that are going to take a chance on you. Right? So you just said you had a great job. You loved it. You probably wouldn't have taken that leap unless you had a friend that's vouched for it. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
A lot of times. Laney?
Thanks
for saying that, Josh.
That seriously was the same with me. Me and Brittany were friends, had the same friend group, and she just always talked about this company, and I was like, this is too good to be true. But it sounded so too good that I couldn't not take the opportunity. So I did it, and here I am almost, 4 years later, and I love it. And me and Josh have a good, it's so crazy because we always joke, was like, what would we do? A real job. We look at our job, we have so much fun. We're always laughing, joking around. And I mean, it's just the flexibility. I can still be there for my kids. If they have a game, I'm like, Josh, I need to leave a little bit early so I can go do this and that. And, it just it's not your typical, you have to, be there. You can't leave, or you have to clock your day, in time. And so me and him are always like, what would we do if, if we had to be, if it was strict. And
both of you all ran offices, those days, the tough days, the challenges. And it's almost like we make it to a game, who are we going to hire, for this area, or who are we going to get to cover this shift? This is a very difficult one. Or how are we going to get this care sheet when this person's 2.5 hours away? It's almost like we just turn it to a game or like a challenge where we get it and then we're yelling it's done.
It is we do.
You're going to have to be there. You're going to have to do it. So you might as well make it as fun as possible, the way I look at it.
Right. Well, that's how you get the best out of yourselves or anybody else, right? Like you say, it's when you don't have some manager breathing down your neck and giving you busy work just for the sake of making it look like, or have any competition with another office that we're better than. I mean, that stuff, if it is done, is I hope in a good spirit.
Yeah.
But I want everybody to have fun, and that's nice. Thanks for saying that, guys.
It is true. We talk about it all the time. We're just I don't know. It's our rough days really aren't that rough.
When you look back on it.
Yeah.
In the middle of it, we're like, ah!
We're paying it good. We're talking each other down, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
We're like, man, Monday was wild, wasn't it? Then we were like, it wasn't. We got through it. So.
Well.
How's it for you, Aaron? What did you
Well.
Here we go.
Hey, what you're thinking, real quick. You know how you used to always hide and scare me? We talked about that at the last podcast.
I don't
Hiding
remember
in
it exactly
closets.
like that.
Called and told me there was a fire in the closet for me to go check the furnace, and he was back in the dark and jumped out and grabbed me.
I don't remember it exactly
So
like that.
I come down the stairs in the Ashland office, and I heard the door shut, I thought, because we have the alarm on the door now.
Yeah.
She was hid back in the bathroom, and as I went around the corner, she jumped out, grabs me, and screams. thought I was dying.
Yeah.
Today I came down the stairs and I knew she was down there somewhere. So I'm coming down real slow, checking the corners,
Yeah.
clearing the room.
And I was cracking up. I couldn't scare him. I just couldn't. I'm like, I
She was
can't.
hid and I could hear her snickering somewhere, laughing.
Gave it away. That's what my daughter does. She can't keep from laughing long enough to do it.
So your spirit lives on.
I got you. Well, I appreciate that.
Does. And you have me and Joshua, the jokesters and the pranksters, and we have our nurse Cindy.
Yeah.
We call her Mother.
I see.
So
She's the adult.
She does. Like she'll hear, she'll be like, "Okay, you guys need to calm it down in there, okay?" We're like, "Yes, Mother."
All right. Keep them in line, Cindy.
Yeah. Well, guys, we've had a great podcast. We've enjoyed it. We've learned about drag racing.
I've said a lot of stuff on this podcast.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to listen to this one before it goes out.
Yeah.
How to make a mean
Roast beef,
sandwich.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, none of these opinions that I've expressed are those of Marshall University, who I'm supporting today. They are clearly just Jeff Stevens' opinions.
Yeah.
I don't speak for the university. I don't want to get in any trouble. I don't remember what all I've said, but we'll see.
Yeah. I think a lot of it will be fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Well, guys, cheers.
Cheers.